In this video, we're going to take a look at how to configure a plugin. So we just installed our plugin and made a slider plugin, and we activated it. Now what we have to do is we actually have to configure it. So information about configuring a particular plugin is usually found where the plugin was actually found originally, which is in the directory. So if you go to the directory, there's usually information. There's a description, there's frequently asked questions, and there's a support forum as well where you can go. And sometimes some of the plugins don't provide you with great information about how to configure their plugin to get it running on your website, your WordPress website. So you have to kind of search around the internet sometimes, or just kind of figure it out yourself. But this plugin is excellent. It provides you with great documentation. It even has its own website for documentation. So if we go to the frequently asked questions here, you can see a link to their actual documentation, and here it is right here. You can see, I just click on documentation. They actually have their own website for this plugin, so that's great. And it gives you information on step by step how to create a new slideshow, how to add slides, customize your slideshow, insert into a post. Really good. Maybe that's why it's so highly rated. So once you kind of figure out how to configure it, all you have to do is go about doing it. And usually the settings for plugins are put in the actual settings menu here, but the only one we have here is actually Forums, which was a plugin I installed earlier. But you'll notice just below settings here, there's actual meta slider option here, or configuration. So I can just click it on here. And here I have the option to create my first slideshow. So I just click on here, and here I have the option to add slides. So I'm going to add a few slides for my slideshow. And here's some that I uploaded to the media library earlier. I'm going to add this slide to slider, and add another one. Add to slider, and another slide. So I have 3 slides I just added to this slideshow. And actually you have the option of actually creating more than one slideshow, as you can see here, and we can actually name them as well. So I'm going to call this one slideshow 1. So I have my slideshow, I have my slides here, and you should also be aware of the width. Over here in the settings here, you can have an option to set the width and the height. Now if I go to my paint program, I have one of my slides open here. If I go to image and resize, I can see that the width is 618 by 246. Actually all the slides are that, so I'll go back and I'll enter it, 618 246. And 246. And you see some other options here. You have a fade effect. Well, actually it depends on, there's actually different sliders that you can choose from, and these are just different companies that produce sliders. So I got the flex slider, the responsive slider, and since we have a responsive theme, remember responsive is a theme which responds to the actual device that it is being displayed on. So I could choose I probably want to choose one of these two, and the Nevo slider, but you could, the coin slider, but you could look at the documentation of these and see if they may actually be responsive as well. So if I choose the first one here, the flex slider, I can see the options that I've been given here. I can have arrows to navigate. I can remove that if I want. The navigation, I can use dots, or I can hide it if I wish, the navigation. And then you can see, actually this may be bullets, I'm not sure, but anyhow, let's look at the advanced settings. Here you have a whole bunch of advanced settings as well. You can control the animation speed, and you can play around with these, and you can also have the 100% wide output. It'll stretch your images so they go right across the screen. So those are some kind of neat little options. So now that we've got all the options here, you actually have to add the plugin to a page or a post. Now the normal way to add a plugin to a page or a post is to use what they call a shortcode. Now the shortcode here is meta slider ID equals 87. All you do is a control C to copy this, and then you go to your page. So let's say we want to put this on the home page. I'm going to go to all pages and home page. I'm going to choose the home page. I'm going to edit the home page, and I'm just going to paste my shortcode where I want my plugin to appear, or I want my slideshow to appear. So I'm just going to do it at the top here, do a control V, and there my plugin will appear. I notice here that they've also added a little button here which you could add slider as well. Let's just check it out. I just slideshow 1, insert slideshow, and that's another way of doing it. But most plugins will not have that button like that. The plugin is just very well done. So okay, so we just save that page or update that page. And we go take a look at our home page, go to visit site, and now we have a slideshow that is functional. So that's essentially how you install a plugin. And you notice how we have a it's only as wide as 618. That's what our width was. You remember from I took a look here at the images here. So you could make your images wider if you wish, and longer to put in your slideshow. It all depends on how you want it to appear. And actually there's even an option to make it wider. If I go back to the dashboard and go back to the configuration of the slider, and this particular, the flex slider, I think there was an option, what I believe, to 100% output. It's okay, and I'm going to, you see there's a whole bunch of other options here. I'm going to save that, visit the site again, and there you can see we got a full, it's going right across the screen. So, and the other thing is you probably want to do with your slideshow is actually put captions on your slideshow. Let's go back to the settings, and here actually you can put links as well. This is my slideshow, and you can even put a link to it. So it's http www.jts.name, and that will only appear on the first slide, by the way. If I want a caption on the other ones, I have to put the caption in here as well. So I can save that, and let's take a look at the course, or look at the site, and you can see I now have a caption. This is my slideshow. And I'm not sure where my link is here. Oh, what it does, it makes a link, so when you click on the slideshow it goes to that page. So if I click on here, it should take me to my home page. There we go. It redirected me. When I clicked on that slide, it redirected me to my home page. So that's one way of adding a caption. Another way of adding a caption, actually, you could just go into the actual Paint program itself. Let me just cancel that for a sec. You could go over here and you could add whatever you wanted here as well. And make it a little bit nicer, obviously. You can maybe be able to highlight it or something, put a couple more layers on there. So you can make it quite fancy as well from here. So now let's go back. And that's it for our tutorial on configuring a plugin. Essentially, if it's not in the settings here, the plugin configuration options, then it's usually on the sidebar here to the left, like we have with the meta slider. And you have to usually, as I was saying, do a little bit of research on how to configure it. Usually the information is provided right on the in the plugin directory, right where you search for it.